Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Divine Empowerment. My name is Joanne. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed, liked, commented, shared the videos. Much love, much gratitude. Also, too, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and tap the bell. I do live tarot readings, live psychic energy readings. This way you'll get notified and you can come and ask me questions. Awesome. Also, too, if you're new to the channel, I do special gift giveaways with every 100 subscribers. In order to enter the drawing, just leave me a comment below and I will enter your name for every comment that you leave on any of my videos. Thank you so much. Yay! All right, so definitely, let's just dive deep here, okay? Are your beliefs affecting ascension? Yes, absolutely. And this is why. Now, beliefs serve us. And believe it or not, and even the sun back here says believe, our beliefs help us make sense of our reality. If we had no beliefs, right, nothing would make sense. These beliefs are formed from the minute we are born all the way till now. And some of those beliefs go back generations, so into past lives, especially whenever we're reincarnating with our same soul families. Now, for beliefs, I really tackle these in level 2 blocks and restrictions in Soul Realignment. So definitely, if you haven't had a follow-up session, contact me. I'll be happy to get you scheduled. Awesome. Now, beliefs and how they affect ascension specifically. First, I would like to go over religion matters, okay? Think about how many different types of religions we have currently on this planet. Now, even though those religions are pretty much, categorized, right? They actually break down into factions based on the church or the congregation that is teaching that particular religion. Now, what actually sets these factions apart from one another? Well, beliefs, right? Beliefs are what separate them into separate factions. Now, especially whenever it becomes important to spirituality and ascension, there is one really golden rule, okay? If you follow this rule, you cannot go wrong. Now, unfortunately, we don't really realize which beliefs are serving us and which ones aren't. Some of those are pretty apparent. So maybe on this full moon, you want to sit down and write out a list of your problems, everything that you're not happy with in your reality. And then look at each one separately and try to think, what belief is currently making this a problem? Sometimes if we just shift our beliefs, it'll shift our perception enough that our problems tend to vanish, quite literally. Now, the one golden rule, and this is truly a golden rule, especially when it comes to spirituality and ascension. Now, of course, there are so many spiritual teachers on our planet right now, light workers, gifted psychics, right? People that are channeling, mediums. There is just a ton of information. So how do you know what to believe? It's very, very simple. You want to take in the content, right? Take in what's being taught and take what resonates and toss the rest, okay? And then this way, it gives you your own path to ascension, because each one of us are unique. There are tons of information that will resonate, and then there's going to be some that doesn't resonate. And then later on, as you go along your ascension process, this may resonate now that it didn't resonate back then. So definitely just take everything in, and if it doesn't resonate, then it's not meant for you at this time. Now, of course, there are a lot of different types of beliefs, and of course, it is trying to figure out what serves you, what doesn't serve you. And I'll give you some examples here. As women, especially women, we are taught to believe that we are inferior physically than a male. Like a male is supposed to be the strong archetype. And these are societal archetypes that form our beliefs, that help us make sense of our reality. Now, as we ascend, of course, we're going to break through those societal archetypes, and we're going to be rewriting archetypes. Now, same thing goes for men. Some men are, taught to believe that they must be the head of the family. They must go out and make all the money and do this and that, right? But again, these are beliefs. Now, some beliefs that may not serve you maybe your mother had a belief that she taught to you as a young child that you just weren't good enough. Let's say you wanted to be an astronaut or a physics doctor or a movie star or singer or something. And she decided that you just didn't have quite what it takes. But she encouraged you in other positive ways. She didn't mean to come across like negative. Maybe she thought she was doing you a favor. Or maybe your father thought that, I need to teach my children to grow up, work hard, retire, hopefully at a decent age, right? And then you can go have fun. Well, maybe that belief is not serving you at this time. Maybe you're not living your life purpose because of these belief systems. Now, again, I want to encourage you to follow up sessions with the Soul Realignment, because level 2, which we get into those in the follow-up sessions, definitely we get into those early childhood beliefs, the ones that are not serving you right now. And then we clear those, which is so, so powerful. For myself, wow, my belief system has shifted so drastically, so dramatically. And, I used to, in my 20s, I used to run around and I would always say things like, well, I don't know that I don't know. I believe, but I don't know that I believe that. I was constantly doing these little word plays that in an attempt to subconsciously awaken and expand my consciousness and expand my awareness. Now, I noticed that it started triggering some people that were close to me, some family members, some friends, and, they just weren't quite ready for that type of enlightenment, and that's okay. I noticed that as soon as I stopped saying it, they went back to normal. But sometimes we can really hold on tightly to our beliefs, so much so that it becomes detrimental. And definitely I want to raise your awareness with watching television and watching commercials. There are actual subliminal beliefs that are being transmitted during these commercials. For example, you'll see a commercial about a particular drug, right, that they're trying to sell. And in this drug, they go on and they may show someone that's miserable and then they're happy because they're taking this drug, yada, yada, yada. And then they'll list out all these different reasons why you should take it. Well, if you're open to that type of suggestion, right, then you're going to adopt that belief, and suddenly you're going to feel like you believe, or you're going to believe that you suddenly now need this prescription. And it's so, so true. It works in the opposite effect. For example, I was diagnosed with reflex sympathetic dystrophy. I was told there was no cure. I would be on medication for the rest of my life. And I believed him, right? Well, through soul realignment and through my own ascension process and my journey, I suddenly started to question those beliefs. And not only did I question whether or not I actually had this particular disease, but then I also started to question what happens if I stop taking the medication? And shouldn't my body be able to heal itself 100%? I mean, that's what I started to believe. And sure enough, it happened. Over time, I'm absolutely 100% healthy in all areas. And then I just stopped taking the medication. And it's been beautiful. Now, of course, it didn't happen overnight, right? It just so happened with the medication, I just started to forget to take it. And next thing you know, I went 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. And I was like, wow, and I feel great. That's just one example of how beliefs can truly empower or disempower you. Now, so you think, well, if I believe this, and anytime we say we believe something, it becomes even more emphatic or more larger, right? When I say I believe that I am worthy, I am worthy, I believe I am worthy. Just those type of things can definitely shift your belief system and help you release beliefs that are no longer serving you, especially on your path to ascension. Now, I do want to touch base on mystery schools. Like I was started with the religious there. Now we're going to talk about mystery schools. Now, these are more like religions that aren't really around anymore, right? Mithraism, ancient Egyptian, Jainism, that's just a few. Celtic polytheism. There's a lot of mystery schools. Now, in client sessions, sometimes mystery schools come up as a way to help them proceed on their path, benefit them on their soul growth, and with their clearing session. Now, I always recommend that you Google these mystery schools. Maybe you've heard of some mystery schools, which I don't have my list handy, or else I would read them out for you. I will type them in the description below, the mystery schools. Now you can, whichever one maybe just kind of pops out at you and you think, wow, there's something here. You know, you'll feel like a little tingle, or there'll be a little intuition moment. You can Google these mystery schools and then read over the core principles. Take what resonates from those principles and then toss the rest. And this is something that, especially I grew up in Southeast Texas, and, you know, I grew up in the Southern Baptist Belt, which definitely helped me in my early years. Now, as I started to awaken, I stepped outside of that box because I just felt intuitively, I knew that there was more. There was more than just what was being spoon fed to me or baby fed to me. And I wanted a closer connection with spirit, with the divine, with the universe, with my archangels, with my higher self. I wanted to know myself thoroughly. Now, a big part of my years in Christianity were Southern Baptist, Catholic, Mormon, what are some other ones? Buddhism. And anyway, those are just a few right off the top of my head. So why so many? Because I always felt that there was something that each religion had to offer me. Like there was some piece, some principle there that resonated for me. So I started to look at religions like a school for ascension, right? And I would go in and I would study the core principles of this particular religion. Pentecostal is another one of them. And then I would go and, look at the principles of the core principles of that religion, take what resonates, and I'd toss the rest. And I truly felt that just really opened me up and accelerated my ascension process. And I've even considered writing a book about it because I have studied so many different types of religions. And I started to see a pattern where it was almost like when you start school, you start in kindergarten. You graduate kindergarten, you go to first grade. You graduate first grade, and you go to second grade, and so on until you graduate. And I felt that this pattern that I was seeing in these religions it was very much like a school. However, because of our beliefs, right? If our parents take us to this particular church and that's the only church that we're ever exposed to, then we're not growing. We're not graduating kindergarten. We're not going into the first grade, in the second grade, in the third, fourth, fifth, and etc. So definitely, if you're interested in, expanding your truth and expanding and accelerating your ascension, by all means, look at various religions. Study the core principles. Look at the mystery schools. Go over the core principles and then just start to take everything that resonates for you and then toss the rest. All right, beautiful souls. Blessings into infinity. Namaste.